Now I'd like to introduce a member of the board member of the National Japanese American Memorial Foundation, Mark Nakagawa.
Good morning, everybody. I think I can probably say, without telling a lie, that I think this is the biggest crowd post-COVID, and it is great to see everyone. Weather is holding, and it was awesome to see Mr. Terry Shima walk up. Marty Herbert calls Terry the Godfather. I call him the rock star. Everyone knows Terry, so it's awesome to see you here, Terry. So thank you very much. There's a lot of dignitaries, lots of friends and family here, so thank you all for joining us in this solemn occasion. On behalf of the board and the officers of the National Japanese American Memorial Foundation, I thank you for this honor and privilege to be able to say a few words today. The Foundation's mission is to tell our stories and services and sacrifice in protecting the constitutional rights of all Americans during World War II. The Japanese American Memorial to Patriotism during World War II, I know it's a mouthful, so we just say the memorial that's downtown, stands in our nation's capital as a memorial to patriotism. Our vision is to remember forever the Japanese American history of patriotism and perseverance for posterity. That site downtown memorializes the incarceration of over 120,000 people. Many Americans' Japanese ancestry and the heroic, and it also memorializes the heroic and valiant service of the 100th Infantry Battalion, the 442nd Regimental Combat Team, and the Military Intelligence Services. We stand together as a community to ensure that the experience of the Japanese American. Today, we honor with the Kobayashi family and honor them for supporting or sponsoring this event for recognizing over 200 Japanese American veterans interned here in Arlington Cemetery. The 75th year, or the platinum or diamond anniversary of this ceremony, demonstrates the giri, or obligation that we place honoring our veterans. Much occurs in the span of 75 years. In 1948, the Cold War began. When Berlin was blockaded, the wall came up. But however, in 1989, the wall came crumbling down. And a few years later, in 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed, ending the Cold War. Scientists at Bell Laboratory invented the transistor. From the transistor, we made the transistor radios, television. That also spurred the creation of chips, which created computers, microcomputers. And think about it. Our iPhones. Your iPhone, the computing power in the iPhone now generates more power than it took to put the man on the moon. Cheetos, Ruffles, potato chips, Mentos, they were invented in 1948, and guess what? I still eat them. Not the old ones, but the new ones. But they were invented in 1948. President Truman issued Executive Order 9980 and 9981, abolishing racial discrimination in the federal government and the U.S. military. I like to think that the valiant service of the 100th, 442nd, and the MIS, coupled with that of the Tuskegee Airmen and the Buffalo Soldiers, probably had a hand in the signing of that executive order. And finally, in 1948, the Kobayashi family began the solemn event here at Pastor Turner, and in the future, to the next generation. So why this history of what happened in 75 years? Well, it's just a reminder that time is endless. Events occur, things come and go. However, it is solemn events, ceremonies like this that endure the test of time. For that, we have to thank the Kobayashi family. Thank you. Buried in the hallowed grounds around here are soldiers from the Confederate as well as the Union. Soldiers, Marines, Airmen, Coast Guardsmen, civilians, and in the future, guardians, the Space Force, each interned hero served this nation and then rest in hallowed ground where we honor them today. Today's event started to honor veterans of the greatest generation for World War II. Their numbers are diminishing, and soon the veterans of the Korean War and the Vietnam War will still fill the ranks. Mr. Bob Nakamoto, who are we going to honor later today, a great American, is also a veteran of the Korean War. So he will receive his honors later today. In addition to the heroes from the Korean War, the Vietnam War, we are starting to see heroes from Iraq, Afghanistan, and elsewhere. In front of you is Section 60, back there. When I was first stationed out here in 2006, that area was pretty sparse. 20 years of hard fighting in Iraq, Afghanistan, and elsewhere, you see how full that place is. That section is now full. When I join my comrades in the Army of the future, here in Arlington Cemetery or elsewhere, I know that this ceremony will continue. Now don't worry folks, I do not plan on joining my comrades in arms soon. My plan is to be like our hero, Mr. Terry Shima, and live a long life. Terry just celebrated his 100th birthday a few months ago. Think about it, 100 years. And he was considered a youngster when he joined up with the 442nd. So that's my goal, to live a full life just like Mr. Shima. So Terry, you're my hero. So, last year we honored Colonel Jimmy Kanaya, a U.S. Army retired 3-war veteran. He was a medic serving the 442nd, earned a battlefield commission, fought there, became a POW in World War II, fought in Korea, fought in the Vietnam War, and after 34 years of honorable service, he passed away. Just like Mr. Bob Nakamoto, Colonel Kanaya paved the way for future generations like me so that we can serve honorably without any issues. I'd like to end today's my remarks today with the same way I ended last year's, with the words of Timothy 2, chapter 4, verses 7 to 8. It describes Colonel Kanaya and many others in this journey of his life. I fought the good fight. I have finished the race, and I have kept the faith. Today's ceremony and those in the future honors us memories and service of great Japanese Americans that served honorably in the service of this nation. Thank you, Turner, and your family for this service. God bless the soldiers, Marines, sailors, airmen, guardian, Coast Guardsmen, and civilians. God bless America. Thank you all. Mahalo.